there's a teacher who went to his social media, and he says, this is how high school students talk to you these days. And I think I could totally see my son doing this. This is how he's roasted by his high school students. And my son is 17, and I absolutely could see he and his friends doing this.
High school kids will roast you over the most mundane things. I was minding my business, eating a sandwich, and a couple of students walked up to me, and one goes, Mr. Salem, are you eating that sandwich with no beverage? I responded, yeah, I guess I am. The student turns and shouts to his friends, Mr. Salem eats his lunch with no bev. This girl chimes in and goes, no bev? It's giving sociopath. My students literally called me No Bev Salem for the rest of the week.
No bev! Sociopath.
Have Kelly, has either of your children used the phrase no bev or used bev in place of a drink?
Not that I have, not that I've heard. Although my son, I wanted to get this exactly right. I wrote it down.
Good. I see this.
I asked him, he was out the other day. And
now that he's off double secret probation?
Yeah, he is. But it was morning, and I wanted him to pick up some bagels for me. I have really gotten into these everything bagels with a scallion and chive cream cheese.
Oh, fancy.
So long, avocado toast.
Yeah. Man, I got a taste of this, and I was like ready to go. Anyway, we didn't have any, and I was jonesing for them. So he was out, and I texted him and said, would you stop by the grocery store and buy me a pack of everything bagels? And he wrote me back. Now, he's talking to his father. Let me get this right. He says, nah, you tripping, son. I'm finna hit up some Biscuitville. And I didn't get my bagels. He goes, you tripping, son. I'm finna hit up Biscuitville. Finna.
Yeah.
Finna. I have to read into this. I'm just like, what in the what? You know? That's just what parents get these days. Mm-hmm. Then this is sports dirt now.
So what'd you eat?
Avocado toast. I mean, what am I?
Should have asked him for Biscuitville.
Yeah.
I didn't want to fill up. No. I didn't want too much. A little bit carby for me. Right. I feel like bagels are okay. Biscuitville. I mean, I love Biscuitville. I do. I love the biscuits. But a little bit too much. Mm-hmm. I was pickling later.
Yeah, you're an athlete.
I wanted something a little bit lighter than that early in the day. Now, this is a throwback to you, BB Shea. BB Shea was talking earlier. He's a Duke fan. Mm-hmm. And you were saying that North Carolina fans are way worse on social media than Duke fans, which I disagreed because I think every fan has that voice that they'll go out and, really get at you if they beat you and then disappear if they're not around.
Yeah.
But I'm getting a lot of emails saying you're right, saying, some people are saying I'm not a huge sports fan, but I see on Facebook all the time Tar Heel fans are much worse than Duke fans.
Do you think it comes down to sheer numbers? Because
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Obviously Duke student body wise is much smaller, but they have tons of fans.
Yeah.
That never went to the school.
I think North Carolina in this area has way more fans. I saw a lot more Tar Heel gear this weekend than Duke gear. And maybe that's it. Maybe that's just what it is. Or, it could be that
obnoxiousness.
Maybe it's just obnoxiousness. I don't see it. I've had, obnoxious Duke fans get in my face when I was younger. Mm-hmm. Now, I never, ever get into that kind of thing. I never would show up or try because eventually the pendulum swings back the other way. And
they will play again.
Of course, they're going to play again next year.
Right.
Now, this is rare.
The stakes are pretty high.
This was as good as it gets, but they may play for the national championship next year.
You never know.
Who knows, right? And so when it comes back the other way, I don't want to be in the crosshairs of somebody else. So I leave well enough alone. These are two great programs. They battled. It was an amazing game. How can you have anything but respect for Coach K? So I just say, thank goodness Carolina won. It was an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
But it could come back the other way. By the way, that country singer that we've talked about and everybody's talked about now, Eric Church, he was supposed to have a show in San Antonio.
Oh, yeah. I guess we know where he'll be tonight.
At the game. He canceled his San Antonio show on Saturday night and sent out an email to all his fans that already had tickets. The church choir that said, I know you'll understand. I'm taking my family to the game. I've been a Tar Heel fan my whole life. Well, some of the church choir didn't understand because they wanted to go to his concert. Yep. And they said, how dare you do this? And I felt the same way. It's not right to cancel a concert, no matter what, just to go to a basketball game. I'm sorry, you can't do it. Well, he gave everybody a refund, and now, after a lot of backlash, he has announced he'll be doing a makeup show on September 2nd in San Antonio. Now, he gave refunds for all the tickets, so I guess you got to buy your tickets all over again if you want to go to that show. But he made an announcement and said, I want to thank the church choir for allowing me to take my family to the game. We had an amazing time. You guys are the best. Took me a minute to figure out how and when I could properly express my thanks to the choir. And I'm going to give you a show on September the 2nd.
Is it a free show?
It is a free show.
Yeah.
It is a free
Okay.
show
Yeah.
at Whitewater Amphitheater in San Antonio on September 2nd. So that makes sense.
That helps.
It's a one-of-a-kind free show. For those who bought tickets that were planning to attend our canceled show, details are coming up soon. So you'll have a chance to go on September 2nd.
Here's a question for you. I know a few people who were in New Orleans at the Superdome Saturday night.
Yep.
Duke basketball fans. And I spoke with them yesterday, and I said, what are your plans for Monday? Are you going to the game? And they're not.
Oh, they're not?
Nope, they're just going to stick around New Orleans. They say, I hear it's a great city,
Yeah.
great food, great drinks, but they're not going to go watch North Carolina play Kansas.
What do they do, sell their tickets?
I don't know what they're going to do. I didn't even ask.
I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could
Yeah.
stand out in the parking lot or get online and sell tickets.
Yeah.
If
Stand
you
in
want.
the parking lot. Look at you, Johnny 80s.
Me too. Got two.
Do here. Well, I
Got
don't
one.
know. I don't know how it works exactly.
You're not built for the modern world.
You go on to these sites and so forth and
Yeah.
sell your tickets. I'm a parking lot guy myself, the old ways. The
Yes.
old school is how I do it. There's more sports dirt today. It's a terrible story, and it happened locally for us. Hope Solo, who used to be the goaltender for the U.S. Olympic women's soccer team.
Yep.
Very
And
well
World
known.
Cup, and I mean, she's one of the best I've ever seen.
One of the best known women's soccer player. I mean, she was Hope Solo. I've heard that name for years and years.
But always sort of controversy sort of dragged around her for a while. She was sometimes seen as not a good teammate
Yes,
about other goalkeepers.
that's right.
I think she had alcohol issues before.
Right. And now she was picked up for a DUI in a Walmart parking lot because she was sleeping in the car. Somebody said they saw her in the car, passed out for over an hour with her two young children, twins, in the back seat, and the car was running the entire time.
Yeah, it's about 15 minutes from where you live, BB Shane.
Right.
Yeah, it's actually like 2 minutes from where my brother lives. Actually.
Really?
Yeah.
So the headline is, I saw this on ESPN, Hope Solo caught in car drinking, passed out, two young kids in the back seat, car running over an hour. Her attorney says it's not nearly as bad as it sounds.
Look, on paper, I get it.
That looks bad. Now that looks wrong on paper, but the attorney says, "When you hear the whole story, don't worry, everything's going to come out." I didn't know she's local to us.
Yeah.
In this case, I didn't know why.
I don't know if she's just passing through or if she's got a home nearby.
I'm not
For some
sure.
reason, I feel like she lives close.
is that right?
Locally. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a few food stories today. We're going to get to that thing that may cause you searing abdominal pains. Hold a minute.
We're going to let it
everything
set
bagels?
in for a
hold
minute.
With
just
a scallion?
Yeah, just hold that.
Is that the snack that you eat that smells like feet?
No, that's a no.
What was that you had in the
Oh,
office?
it was. That's what I had. Yeah, I had. You said it smelled like feet, which made me want it all the more. It's a scallion cream cheese on an everything bagel, and I love it. And I even sprinkle more everything flavoring over top of it. So I've got an everything bagel, then the scallion cream cheese, and then I dump some everything seasoning on top of the cream cheese. Golly.
And you think a biscuit's bad.
Well, I don't
How
like
much
to,
salt is in
I
that?
don't like to fill up a lot of salt, but I cut it with Diet Coke.
Well,
you
she
go.
didn't say that.
That's the trick.
It's like acids and bases. They neutralize.
Got to cut through it. On Fridays at this time, we have Lisa Lanier, our attorney, on. She goes inside legal cases. Now Burger King is up against it. They're being sued. 26-page class action lawsuit. She'll comment on this on Friday. Spokesperson for Burger King says the corporation will not comment on this, but they're being sued for consumer fraud, saying that their advertising makes their burgers look 35% larger than they actually are. So when you see them on TV or in whatever, magazines, online, then you have a burger, the Whopper looks 35% bigger than it actually is. And people are going in there saying, this is not the burger that is advertised.
Here's a picture of your sandwich on TV.
Yeah.
Here it is on my tray.
Well, I think that's been going on for some time.
A long time.
I think
I can't tell you the first time how disappointed I was the first time my family, we were at my grandparents' house in Richmond, and they brought home Arby's for the first time. Now, I'd
Yes.
seen Arby's roast beef sandwiches on TV, and they looked like the size of a man's hand
piled
from
high.
top of fingertip to palm.
Yeah.
And when you get it, it's just two smushed pieces of bread with a little bit of shoe leather in between.
You barely you barely
It's
see
the
it.
most disappointed I've ever been in a fast food sandwich.
It's true, but they all do it. I mean,
They all do it.
Looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think's the most accurate? When you get it, it looks a lot.
Good question.
McDonald's?
Maybe Wendy's. I don't know. Wendy's does have some thick burgers.
They do.
Yeah, and then like the foot long is not a foot long.
Oh, Subway.
That's deceiving too.
Well, Subway used to have the $5 foot long, and it was 11 inches.
Yeah,
right.
And they had to change that, didn't they? Didn't they have to? I mean, they did get a class action lawsuit against them.
I think so.
Because when you say it's a foot long, it should be a foot long.
True.
And they measured it out to like 10.5 or 11 inches. 100 plaintiffs are included on this pending class action lawsuit for millions of dollars. Complaint requesting a jury trial to see if Burger King and their advertising really is right. Now, of course, you sit here and say, well, that's silly.
Yeah.
But, I mean, shouldn't they be accurate in their advertising? If Chevrolet or Ford showed a vehicle, a 2022 Chevy Silverado, and you know how it looks on the TV, and then you go to the lot and it's beat up and got dents or whatever. I mean, you can't.
Well, that's one thing, but you know me, I like to look at commercials very closely,
Yeah.
and a lot of times when they show these vehicles, especially cars and trucks, they'll look at the fine print and say this is a prototype not available in the U.S.
Oh, really?
They print it on the
You
screen.
can't even get that.
Yep.
You can't even get the stuff.
They say this is a prototype. This model's not released. This model's not available in the U.S. They're covered.
Yeah. I wonder if Burger King,
It might do the same thing. Like, hey, it may be smaller than this, or
this food is not representative of what we have. This food does not represent Burger King. Burger King's actions are especially concerning now that inflation, food, and meat prices are so high, according to their folks here. Do you know what I paid for a 12-pack of Diet Coke yesterday?
No.
$7.49. $7.49 for a 12-pack. Now, I wanted it. Normally it's $4
Yeah.
and something.
Oh.
And then you get like a buy two, get three free, but they had no specials going on. And the bacon prices, out of control right now. I mean, the inflation is just ridiculous. I can't even, it's awful. Excuse me for getting off on my soapbox there.
Johnny Economist.
I'm sorry, but this thing is getting
How many
ridiculous.
Diet Cokes did you have Saturday for the North Carolina game? How many do you anticipate for the championship game?
I had 7 Saturday. I'll say I'll have 7 or 8 today. Yeah, I've already had 1, and I'm sure I'll have a
Are you
couple.
going to pull an all-nighter or try to sleep for a couple of hours after the game?
I'll sleep for a couple
I
hours.
imagine it won't end until around midnight Eastern,
Well, give me the tip's at 9:20. I mean, can you not?
maybe 11:30.
bro.
Yeah, but then you got
It might end. It might end at 11:45.
I want to see one shining moment. I will be up until the bitter end if North Carolina's still in the game. Now, if they're getting blown out, I'll go to bed at halftime. Yeah, I give up on teams. I'm a giver-upper.
Sure.
On teams. But that one, I'll be up late tonight. It'll probably take me at least 6 or 7 Diet Cokes to get through the day.
And then tomorrow,
another 6.
tomorrow's show's going to blow.
Oh, terrible. Tomorrow's
Especially if your team loses.
Oh my God! There's nothing worse. The time North Carolina lost to Villanova on a heartbreaking last second shot, 5 or 6 years ago? I mean, the next day you're just devastated. You stay up late and then you get beat. It's the worst. It is the worst thing to do. Here is the story about what you may have already eaten today that could be terrible.
I'm so out of time.
Let's not do it.
That's our time. Thank you.
Oh, he's right. I was looking at the old clock on the wall.
It sounds like it's poisonous. I don't know.
Good luck to you. No, it's Lucky Charms cereal. 139 consumers across the country have reported vomiting and severe diarrhea after a bowl of Lucky Charms in the past 3 weeks.
Cause?
They're not sure. They're looking into it. General Mills says it does not believe Lucky Charms is the cause of these illnesses, but a lot of doctors are reporting that people are coming in after eating Lucky Charms and saying they're having diarrhea and searing
if I'm
abdominal
Lucky
pain.
Charms, you know you're going to point the finger at the big milk.
Could be. Yeah, maybe you're right.
Our stuff doesn't spoil. Theirs does.
That's a good point. I was reading on Reddit the other day. I read Reddit for gym notes and sex stories.
Yeah.
But it was like a thing that what do they say? You were today years old when you learned such and
Oh,
such.
yeah.
One woman said she was today years old when she learned that she was lactose intolerant. For years, she thought everybody had terrible diarrhea after eating milk-based products.
That must be awful.
Right.
Oh, terrible. And she said, I never had any idea. And every time she ever had milk, cereal, cheese, she would just go to the bathroom and have terrible diarrhea. And she thought that was just normal.
I think that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah, she didn't know.
Same with like gluten and stuff like that,
Yes.
like celiacs. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. A woman in Heber City, Utah said she ate a bowl a week ago as a snack one evening after dinner. And 2 hours later, she was cramping up, nauseous, and spent most of the night on the toilet with terrible diarrhea. Lucky Charms is what it is. Another woman said, I gave my son a mid-afternoon snack of Lucky Charms without milk.
Oh.
And several hours later, he was projectile vomiting and didn't stop for 24 hours.
Was it a rainbow?
Yeah, they redid their tile.
Who winds down with a bowl of Lucky Charms? That's such a weird way to decompress.
One woman did.
Pure sugar.
The same day, a woman's 5-year-old daughter had a few bites of Lucky Charms and came down with a bout of diarrhea. So there's just this like anecdotal evidence that Lucky Charms is causing this, but they don't say that there's like one batch that has something bad in it, like you'd get a recall or something. In a statement from General Mills, they say, our customer safety is our top priority.
Yes.
We're aware of these.
Our company's so gigantic. We'll squash this. Don't worry. You stoners and children continue eating this garbage. What are you going to do? Not eat it? We're Lucky Charms.
That would be a terrible night for a stoner, wouldn't it? I mean, you think everything is great, and then all of a sudden you've got projectile vomiting and diarrhea after a big bunch of Lucky Charms. Yeah. You have no choice but to eat it, of course. And this is similar. 34 people in British Columbia, Canada have come down with vomiting, diarrhea, and fever after eating raw oysters at one particular restaurant. Now that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
Raw
they
oyster.
print that on the menu.
Yeah.
This could cause discomfort.
They have seen 270 cases of gastrointestinal illness linked to consumption of raw oysters in the past week. Norovirus is what that you've heard of that, norovirus. Inflammation of the stomach and intestines. And
I do not eat a lot of oysters. I never did when I was younger, but I really like them now, but I've been very lucky. Maybe just a few times a year.
Yeah, I like them too. I think they're great. But it's either you love them or hate them, especially the raw. If you're eating a raw oyster.
That's the only way.
You think I like them deep fried. You don't like them deep Oh, I like them deep fried.
Please.
You're
a child.
I'll get them on
Eat it right out of the shell, tasting like the sea.
Oh, I like that too. But
you cover it up with a gook.
Yes, I do. I put a lot of
goop on it.
Hot sauce on it, or a little lemon juice over the top of it, and hot sauce. I'll do a lot of that. What do you on oysters, BB Shay?
Hate them.
Raw and cooked.
Hate them.
Texture.
Everything.
Mouthfeel.
Everything.